Hello, hope you have been keeping well. Welcome back to episode 5 of Weekly Bee. Today I'm going to be telling you about a couple of World Book Day dresses I made for my daughters last week, an update on how my Lyra dress is going, and also how my sock and sweater knitting projects are going. I kind of got lost in my days with World Book Day coming up, but of course my daughters did not forget and they requested at least something super easy and that would be quick for me to make. All they wanted to go dressed as was Matilda, and what an easier project to make than just a simple blue dress. They didn't want any ruffles, any pleats, no gathers, nothing special, just a plain blue dress with a collar. And I decided to use the Piper dress by Violet Field Threads. I had used this pattern before to make a birthday present for my eldest daughter's best friend, and at the time I made a size 7. My daughter tried it on for some photos and it looked like it fit her pretty well. Even though I measured both my daughters and they both fell in different size brackets, and it was also different to the other dress size that I made the best friend, I still decided to go with that size 7 just to save time because I only had 3 days to make this dress. So I cut out 2 of the dresses in a size 7 just with different lengths, and when my eldest tried it on, she was literally swimming in it. At that point, all I could do, and to not waste time, was to just take in an extra 1/2 inch seam on each side. It still came up a little bit big, but that just means that they will have the dress to wear that little bit longer. To complete the outfit, of course, we needed a red bow. To not waste any more time, I decided to self-draft my own bow. I think it would have taken me a lot longer to try and find a pattern out there, so making my own was a much quicker option. I came up with the measurements for the bow based off of a 1/2 inch wide elastic I had in my stash. For the bows, I just cut out 2 rectangles, sewed them together, turned them right sides out, and cut off a smaller piece in order to attach the bow to the headband itself. This was then hand sewn to the headband, and if you've been with me for a while, you might know that hand sewing is not something that I particularly enjoy, but I quite enjoyed sewing the bow onto the headband, I think because it was a small little area, so it was actually quite fun to do. So each of my daughters have a new dress and a bow to go in their wardrobe, and it's not just for World Book Day because now they can wear this dress the whole year round basically, with just a top underneath in winter and without anything for summer. Now onto my Lyra dress. I think I have been working on this dress for the last 3 weeks, but there's just so much been going on behind the scenes that this dress has just kind of been put on the back burner. Having said that though, the dress has been coming together quite nicely, apart from some issues that I'm actually experiencing with the fabric. So this is a viscose fabric, and when I bought it, I never realized it had a bit of stretch to it until I actually started cutting out the project. Because I knew that the fabric would shift, what I did for those pieces that needed to be interfaced is I cut out the interfacing first, fused it onto the fabric, and then I cut out those pieces. And even though I did that, the fabric still shifted. I took a long time having to repress the inner collar because the fabric had shifted so much. I had to take different seam allowances throughout the whole section just in order to get the stitches from the other side closed. It's all stitched in place now, and I'm pretty happy with my stitching in the ditch because I have never had the patience to stitch in the ditch, and this time I decided put your sewing machine speed lower and just go slowly, and it actually came out really well, which I can't even see my stitches on the right side of the fabric. The other piece that shifted as well was the button stand. I cut out a long piece of interfacing because it had to go from the neckline all the way to the hem, and I fused it to the fabric before cutting it out. I fused it along the selvage, which would tell me that that was straight, but after attaching it to the dress, it started shifting. What that meant was that in the inside of the dress, it's not as straight as I would like it to be. So in some parts, I've had to take a bigger seam allowance over here in comparison to what I have at the top. But this is all on the inside, so you won't really see it. I've also now made the markings for all of the buttons, and I've calculated I need 14 buttons. There's not a lot of buttons in my stash that I have 14 of the same, apart from these 2. Both of them are black. One is transparent with a flower shape, and the other one is opaque and it's just a basic black button. I have placed both of these on top of the fabric, and I feel like the floral one kind of gets lost amongst the whole busy print. So I'm probably going to be adding just the plain black buttons. That's going to be a project now for the next couple of days because 14 buttonholes is going to take me a while to do. Once the buttonholes are finished, then all that's left to do is hem the dress. I'm still deciding. Oh, no. I still have to do the sleeves. I still haven't decided what I want to do with the sleeves, but I am kind of leaning towards making them 3/4 length because I feel I will get more wear out of it then, both in summer as well as in winter. My socks are basically finished. I am so excited about having 2 socks finished at the same time, and I can basically be wearing these socks out tomorrow. All I need to do now is just graft my toes closed, and I haven't yet done that because over the weekend I just wasn't feeling too well. So I'll definitely get to that maybe this afternoon. I must say, I keep on going on about this. It is a game changer knitting 2 socks at a time. If you knit socks, have you already tried knitting 2 socks at the same time? If you haven't, definitely give this a go. If you are someone who is busy getting into socks, I also say give this a go. This is only my 2nd ever pair of socks that I have knit, and I will never knit another pair of socks any other way. I still have enough yarn left over to make another pair of socks. I don't want to make the same version, probably just mix up the colors a bit. And I also have more sock yarn in my stash to pair together with these. If you do subscribe to my newsletters, you will definitely know what yarn I'm using, but just in case you're not, this is Drops Fable in the Sunset colorway, and this is Drops Fable as well in the Cornflower colorway. This is another project that has been coming together really slowly. By the time I finish this, it's probably not going to be seasonally appropriate to wear it, but I'm still going to continue on knitting it. I'm not going to set it aside. I am using some Yarnsmith's yarn, which was kindly gifted to me by Wool Warehouse, and I am using 1 strand of Merino DK Superwash together with 1 strand of Kid Mohair Silk. I have never worked with mohair before, and I'm really enjoying how it's knitting up because it's giving the sweater a kind of a fuzzy feel and look to it. I'm going to carry on this stripe panel for both front and back panels as well as for the sleeves, and I'm going to make all the cups in just the purple. Once I graft the toes of my socks closed, I can go full steam ahead on just working on the sweater, and I'm sure it will be finished in no time. So hopefully when you check back next week, I will at least have started on the back bodice. In other news, I have had to go out and get a couple more pieces of furniture for my sewing room because everything was just taking over my floor. I don't know about you, but things just start getting full out of nowhere. I barely had any walking space left, so I definitely needed to get extra storage. I got just an extra 4 cube IKEA Kallax unit to place on top of my already existing 8 Kallax unit, and I also got a Billy bookcase, but the wider one, so that I could just put in that corner over there because I had a chest of drawers, but it was just too bulky. It was taking up too much space and it was just in my way. Now with the bookcase up there, I feel like the room has opened up a lot more, and with all the shelves, it has given me a lot of space to store my things. I still have quite a few things on the floor, but because I wasn't feeling well, I just kind of left it, but I will get to it within the next few days, and hopefully I can give you a tour of my sewing room pretty soon if you're interested in that. But that's it from me today. Make sure you like this video, and bye for now.